Hello everyone, we are Lưu Hùng and Thiên Ý, and now we going to present about processive web app. What is processive web app? First, let's take a look at this timeline. Go back to 2009, HTML was the new hotness, and then in 2012, Facebook came up with a hybrid app. You can see in this article people say that Facebook app is a piece of graph. Even this guy from Facebook say the biggest mistake we make as a company was betting too much on HTML file as opposed to native. And then it went to nonsense. That's when native apps rules the world. There are several things we can say about native. Its advantage, of course, and disadvantage also. First, let's take a look at its advantages. Its rich performance, smooth in animations and interactions, instant loading and offline support. Also, it's easily to access through home screen. There are several things about its disadvantages. The distribution problems and its updating is a pain. Moreover, it's eating your battery. And the last one, the size of these native applications is too much. So finally, in 2016, web strikes back. Then we have progressive web apps, aka BWA, are the best of both worlds. Differences as a native mobile application while still performing like a responsive website. A progressive web app is a web app that delivers an app-like experience to users by using modern web capabilities. They evolve from based in browser tabs to immersive top-level apps, maintaining the web's low frictions at every moment. It's important to remember that PWA work everywhere but are supercharged in modern browsers. Progressive enhancement is a backbone of the model. So, progressive web apps are connectivity independent, enhanced with service workers to work offline or on low quality networks. And is responsive. Of course, it fits any form factor, desktop, mobile, tablet, or whatever is next. Also, it's progressive. It means it's work for every user, regardless of browser choice, because they build with progressive enhancement as a core tenet. It's safe. It's served via TLS to prevent snooping and ensure content hasn't been tampered with. Also, it's fresh. It's always up to date thanks to the service worker update process. And it's app-like. It means it uses the app sale model to provide app-style navigations and interactions. It's installable. Allow users to keep apps they find most useful on their home screen without the hassle of an app store. Also, it's re-engageable. It means it makes re-engagement easily through features like push notifications. Last one is discoverable. It's are identifiable as applications thanks to the W3C manifest and server worker registration scope allow search engines to find them. So let's take the experience and results of top brands are having with their BWA. First one is Trivago. Trivago saw an increase of 150% for people who add its BWA to home screen. Increased engagement led to a 97% increase in leak outs to hotel offers. Users who go offline while browsing can continue to access the site, and 67% continue to browse the site when they come back online. Next one is Pinterest. Pinterest rebuilt their mobile site as BWA and core engagements increased by 60%. They also saw a 44% increase in user-generated and revenue, and time spent on the site has increased by 40%. Last one is Twitter. Twitter Lite saw a 65% increase in page positions, 75% in tweets, and a 20% decrease in pound rate. According to the Twitter intentions, the BWA takes much less space, only 600 kilobytes, than the native Android app, 24 megabytes. So there are bigger possibility that people will have enough space in their internal storage to save it. So to make a BWA, we will go through 4 principles. First one is web app manifest. Web app manifest is a simple JSON file that informs the browser about our web app. It tells how it should behave when installed on the user mobile device or desktop. And to show the at home screen prompt, the web app manifest is required. The manifest enables our web app to have more native light present on the user home screen. It allows the app to be launched in full screen mode, provides control over the screen orientation, and in recent version of Chrome on Android supports defining a flashing and thumb color for the address bar. It is also used to define a set of icons by size and density used for the aforementioned flashings and home screen icon. Next one, the service worker. A service worker is a script that the browser runs in the background in a separate thread. That means it runs in a different place and is completely separate from your web page. That's the reason why it can't manipulate the DOM element. Service workers are powerful for offline caching, but they also offer significant performance in the form of instant loading for repeat visits to a site or web page. We can cache our application shell so it works offline and populate its content using JavaScript. Next is at home screen. As home screen or A2HS for short, is a feature available in modern browsers that allows a user to install a web app, line as a shortcut to their home screen, representing their favorite web app or site so they can subsequently access it with a single tap. In order for the applicant install prompt to display, the app must have a valid web apps manifest. It's served over HTTPS, and a valid service worker register is required. Last one, a number of app install banner samples are available, covering basic banners through the more complex use case, like displaying related applications. The last one is push notification. Push notifications let our progressive web app go far beyond the browser and are a readable, useful way to reiterate with our website visitors. Web push notifications are used for simple tasks like alerting a user about upcoming sales or events. They display an icon and a few lines of text that the user can then click to open and go to a specific destination on our site. Web push notifications use a service worker to listen to push events provided by your push notification service. Once an event is triggered, the notification is sent to the user device. Even if the browser isn't active, push notifications are sent directly from a server to a web push device and contain the information required for the push service to send them to the right receiver. Next, demo times.
Next, I will talk about demo. First, we have to build our traditional web app. So let's start with the makeup. The HTML file is relatively simple. We wrap everything in body tab. Now that we have gotten that out of the way, let's style it with CSS. Now it looks much better, but we still don't have data to show. We store data with JavaScript. With this code above, we can now look through the arrays and show them on the HTML file. We have done a lot, but for now, we just have a traditional web app. So let's change that in the next section by do some PWA feature. Here we will implement two things: web app manifest and service worker. Now that we know what a web manifest is, let's create a new file named manifest.json in the root directory. Now that we have a web app manifest, let's add it to the HTML file. You can see we link our manifest.json file to the head tab and add some other link which handle the iOS support to show the icons and colorize the status bar with our term color. With that, we can now divide into the final part, the service worker. Let's create our very first service worker in the root folder, and now the name is service worker.js. We decline the name of our catch static tch and access to store in the catch. And to perform that action, we need to add a listener to sales. Sales is the service worker. Its sales is enable us to listen to life cycle events to do something in return. The service worker has several life cycles, and one of them is the install event. It runs when a service worker is installed. It is triggered as soon as the worker is executed, and it is only called once per service worker. When the install event is fine, we run the callback which gives us access to the event object. Catching something on the browser can take some time to finish because it's aside characters. So to handle it, we need to use wait until, which as your migrate waits for the action to finish. Once the cat API is ready, we can run the open method and create our catch by passing its name as an argument to catch open static tch. Then it return a row mix which have us store our access in the case with case dot add or access. Now we have successfully captured our access in the browser, and the next time we lost the page, the service worker will handle the request and flag the cache if we are offline. So let's flag our cache. Here we use the flag event to get pack our data. The call pack gives us access to flag event. Then we add response with to prevent the browser default response. Instead, it returns a remix because the flag action can take time to finish. And once the cache ready, we apply catch.mark flag event.request. It will check something in the catch match flag event.require. By the way, flag event.request is just our array of access. Then it returns a remit, and finally we can return the resource if it exists or the install flag. If not, now our access can be catched and flagged by the service worker, which increase the load time of our image quite a bit. And most important, it makes our app available in offline mode. But a service worker alone can't do the job. We need to retrieve it in our project. Here we start by checking if the service worker is supported by the current browser. Then we listen to the payload event to retrieve our service worker by passing the name of our file serviceworker.js to navigator.serviceworker.retrieve as a parameter to retrieve our worker. With this update, we have now transformed our regular web app to PWA. And this is what we get on the laptop, mobile, Android, and iOS. We use GitHub page to establish our website. To understand how web app manifests and service worker work, let's take a look at this short video. Progressive web apps are significant step forward into application development segment. Mobile applications and websites both contribute significantly toward enhancing customer experience. PWA apps are a strict a hit in this approach. They combine the best of both the mobile application and web features. It is important to understand that every business has its very our app. However, downloading and installing app for every product, service, or platform is not flexible solution. PWAs are a flex outlook to the serial without install. Progressive web app provide the benefits of website browsing through the look and feel of the application. Thank you for your time. You can check our website live by this link, and there are some references that we use to make this project. Thank you for listening.